I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Christianity is fake. It was created as a political movement. It is also the reason why the Roman Empire has fallen. I'm in college and I'm taking medieval history, and everything is being laid out on the table. Proofs and facts cannot be argued. Back in the day, I dated a Bible thumper. His name was Adam. Ironic, right? He was traditional to the fucking core. I mean, women are beneath the whole thing. I had no voice. It was a whole fucking thing. This dude really wanted me at the altar, saying, I will serve and obey my husband. And then he tried to say that I only liked him because of his religion. I was born pagan. I was raised pagan. My family is pagan. We don't like your— sorry if that comes off rude, but that's just the truth. Let me give you the facts. When it comes to the Roman Empire, there was the East and the West. There was a falling apart because Constantine couldn't handle ruling that much land. Now, when that happened, the Western Empire, or the Western side, just kind of crippled down and it disintegrated, basically. And the focus became on the Eastern Empire, or the Eastern side. Thus created the Byzantine Empire, or the Byzantine Empire. This is when Christianity really took over politics and the entire empire. Technically, it started taking over whenever the Western was still involved, but we're gonna focus on the Eastern. Oh, I took notes, honey. Christianity was brutal. This change was done by persuasion, coercion, and aggression. Now, monasteries and monarchs were most effective because they gave this idea that Christianity would provide security, hope, and sustenance during the hard times where their original religion, the tribes, the people, their original culture would not provide that. That's what they made people believe. And for anybody who did not support that idea was met with that aggression. And the rich had no issue with this because only the elite and the most rich were able to enter the church and take money from the church. It's because of all of this that they were rarely challenged by secular leaders. The church taught shit that they did not believe. And the original teachings, the original teachings were done in the idea of pagan thinkers, pagan leaders, pagan people, one of which was Aristotle. Aristotle is a pagan thinker. Now this, of course, was later refined because they are trying to do that separation from paganism. This is why the Bible is always having a new translation. Benedict and Pope Gregory I, those two people. Benedict introduced the rules and the ethics mission, whereas Gregory was a nationalist and wanted religious supremacy. Combine that together, what do you get? So anytime that a new translation comes through for the Bible, it is just something to reform the rules, the ethics, the outline, to further that control, to further that fear, to further that idea of security, hope, and sustenance, to continue again the control. Now, the church back in the day was the primary education. They didn't have schools like that. And the goal of the education was to prep the people to serve the church and to serve the public. The mission was to spread the word as much as possible, no matter the cost. This is why aggression was included. Now, if a ruler had multiple sons, because women are beneath, the oldest son would go and take the throne, whereas the second oldest would be put with the church, because the church was a political movement. It was political and religion were together. It was one thing. We see that here now, by the way. Anyway, that way, they still have somebody of high power and high money. It's 2 a.m. and I gotta work at 7 a.m. I'm not even scraping the surface. There is so much more that goes into this. And I know Christians are gonna bitch a fit about this, but honestly, I don't care. Again, you can't argue facts. You can't argue history. And I hope everybody understands just why and how they are Christian today. It is because of generational trauma that stemmed from the Roman Empire being forced into this religion via aggression. First of all, your ancestors, the tribes and the cultures that they come from would not appreciate this. Secondly, I don't think anybody would be very comfortable with blindly following a political manipulation move. For hope, security, and sustenance, why do you think there's so much fear-mongering into Christianity? Because it stems from aggression, coercion, persuasion. It is a manipulation tactic for political values. I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm a God-fearing man. Your ancestors were fearful of the church, and the church converted your ancestors to make you believe that you needed to fear God. So you followed their ethics. You did what they wanted you to do. I do have a question though, right? If you have a new translation to the Bible and something was added that you used to do, which is now forbidden, does that mean that you have to repent for your new sins? Or if something was removed as a sin and now it's okay, does that mean that you're going to go do it, or are you going to morph yourself as your religion morphs? Or are you going to follow the very, very first original, values? Because I can tell you there is not a single Christian that follows the very first one. Why? Because it's pagan!